Everybody is looking for answers about love and intimacy, yet what if the most unexpected source had something profound to say? This isn't something you'll find in the Bible, and honestly, it's a bit provocative, especially when it comes straight from Jesus himself, opening up about his own intimate love life and sexual experience. But trust me, it's worth your time. Keep an open mind as you hear not just from Jesus but also from Alexis Eldridge, whose commentary and personal epiphany bring a whole new perspective to this conversation. These revelations were communicated to and written down on January 11, 2011, and published in Alexis's book Conversations with Jesus Book 2, An Invitation to Dance, a book that comes highly recommended by Jesus, the angels, and now by me. Her first book is titled Conversations with Jesus, An Intimate Journey. In this video, I'll be sharing every word from both Jesus and Alexis, starting from that pivotal day in 2011 as recorded in Book 2. Don't miss a moment, this is about to get fascinating, and you might just discover something that transforms your own love life. Jesus begins speaking to Alexis.
Speaking about sex is not easy at all, and you did it gracefully. For today, it is my turn. I know you're wondering which lifetime I'll be telling you about to illustrate what I want to impart. And so, without any further ado, I will begin. My lifetime as Jesus was primarily non-sexual. However, I did experience sexual relations and the exchanging of affection for 1 year's time. I was around the age of 29. She and I had known each other as children. In fact, she had grown up with me and my family, for hers had been killed. As little as we were, there was soul recognition. Of course, at the child stage, words to describe our experience were not available to us, and yet, we simply knew that we had known each other before. This was obvious by the way she and I immediately adored one another. We played, swam, fished, and grew as individuals side by side. When it came time for me to start sharing what all the spirits were asking me to, it was incredibly difficult to say goodbye. What occurred next was all that was necessary to assist me in clearly knowing my position on my sexuality and the role that sex would play in my life. After about a month of separation, I felt exiled from my heart. She had become so much a part of it. I decided not to continue my work and to go back home to her. It was then that our deep friendship turned into living together as lovers. At first, it was fulfilling because we were able to remain fully present. Later, it turned out to be about something else. It became about achieving a goal rather than relating. Let it be known how alone we both felt before we had spoken about the sexual part of our relationship. I know I had shut down to the point where I could not even hear my intuition. Sexual desire had become louder than our love, louder than our heart's needs, and louder than I ever imagined it would have been. And so, dispelling its magnitude was not easy. However, she and I realized this early enough, so neither one of us became embittered. All our years of kinship allowed for honest communication. Together, we chose to let go of this aspect of our interaction. This freed us to return to our adoring relationship, and to then know, despite our pain, that she and I needed to live apart so I could honor all I was being asked to do by the creators. In order to fulfill my destiny, this woman and I had to acknowledge our sexual energy together. We then needed to acknowledge how important it was to remain present while engaging in sexual activity. This woman helped me understand that a sexual experience becomes unfulfilling by not remaining present, and helped me to release all the charge I initially had around sex. Ultimately, however, I came to realize my destiny didn't involve sex. And no matter what some religions refuse to accept, or disdain imagining, sex will continue to exist. I am aware that part of my role as guide is to allow reality its position while offering new approaches, to intentionally birth love where there wasn't any before. For openers, it is important to know of an element that takes a person out of a state of presence during sexual activity. It is fear that one won't be getting all they are wanting. Anyone focusing on his or her own needs is not fully present to either themselves or their lover. In order to not get into this space which takes one out to the periphery, communication needs to enter, remain, and to become the primary tool. Loving one another in any way requires communication that is honest, humble, and consistent. Despite all the other elements I could share that take one away from being present, I am going to leave it at the one and its solution. You see, any other factor can also be resolved, worked through with the use of communication, in the way I described. Dear one, know how not only our readers are encouraged to use more communication in order to remain present, and not just during sexual encounters, but you too are encouraged. Oh yes, I know it takes one out of the impassioned moment. However, anyone who has felt empty and/or uncomfortable in their own skin after engaging in an act which did not support what their whole being needed knows that another way has to be available. And so, for those who are ready, I invite you to try this other way. For fulfillment only comes through continuing to evolve into what's in the highest good.
I'm sitting here, shocked that we are even having this conversation. Okay, now that I've said that, I realize that's precisely the problem, or rather, the challenge. My shock illustrates how shocking it would feel to look at my lover and say, I'm having a hard time remaining present with you because I'm worried that I'm not going to get my needs met. Oh my. As I'm fervently writing, I just got it. While I was listening to you speak about this, I envisioned sexual needs only, and I just had an epiphany. It's all our needs that we're concerned about being met. Will I be cared for? I mean truly cared for at any given time? And so on. Did you mean overall needs in the broadest term? Or am I just making connections that are unrelated or at least not directly related?
Oh yes, the connection you have made is directly related, I assure you.
That concludes this conversation between Alexis and Jesus, though ours is just beginning. So comment and let's discuss what was said and find more insight in how we can improve our personal lives with what we've heard here. There will be a follow-up video to this that explains more about what Jesus said here from a unique perspective. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Share your thoughts and help to contribute to the discussion. Until next time, may peace be with you and stay blessed, my friends.